Hello, my name's Brian. I'm an agile management consultant, and earlier last year I left the smoke of old London town and headed north. Welcome to glorious Yorkshire. Now I'm using the agile management practices to get stuff done around the house. We have some grand plans on the roadmap. But plans are nothing. We've actually got to get stuff done. But if agility is just a bunch of silly words to you, then don't worry. Stick around. Just enjoy watching stuff getting done. Emergent work. Sometimes you just have to deal with the issues as they arise. The daily use car. When I was coming back from the builder's merchants the other day with softwood timber for the lean-to, the car started beeping inexorably. Error code 4 on the dashboard, the temperature redlining. 3 miles until home, 3 very tense minutes. Priorities change. I have to defer the strategic work of the lean-to in favour of fixing the car. A necessity of modern life and living out of town. So the challenge being posed is that I want a working car, the benefit of which is that I can go about my daily life, like picking up the kids from school and doing the shopping. All I know is that the coolant has gone, disappeared. The first thing is to try and work out why that might have happened. There are a number of possibilities. It could be that the thermostat has seized. The coolant in the engine boils away because it's not circulating, usually emerging as steam from the expansion tank. I didn't notice any steam, but the thermostat is 10 years old and they last about 10 years. It could be that the fan has failed. The coolant in the engine boils away because the heat isn't being removed, usually emerging as steam from the expansion tank. This has happened before when my partner was driving once and the fuse to the fan had blown, and so it overheated in great clouds of steam. I didn't notice any steam. The fuses look good, and if I start the car, I can see that the fan is turning. Head gasket failure. Water leaks into the internals of the engine. The observable symptoms are steam from the exhaust if it's leaking into the cylinders, or milky oil where water mixes with the lubrication system. I didn't notice steam in the exhaust, and checking down the filler cap, the oil needs changing, but it isn't milky. Therefore, it's probably just coolant leaking from somewhere. But where? Could be a split rubber pipe, a pierced radiator, any number of places. I refill the engine with clean tap water and go for a drive. When I return, I notice that I've left a trail of drips on the road and that the coolant level has dropped. Definitely a leak. The top pipe is fairly accessible. Nothing obvious there. With the engine running, I look towards the bottom pipe and the water pump. There are wisps of steam on that side of the engine. The pump is hidden by its own pulley and the belt that snakes around to run the ancillaries. But with the use of a borescope, I can get behind the pulley and I see water dripping from the pump. I miss Haynes manuals. In their absence, I turn to the very thing that killed them, the Tinternet. There's a YouTube video of a Meriva water pump replacement. It's fiddly to gain access to the pump, but doable. Remove the air intake filter, remove the engine mount, remove the belt, remove water pump pulley, finally remove the water pump. Do I think I can get this done before midday so that I can get down to the motor factors and pick up the correct replacement water pump?
I don't have a lot of historic data points to draw upon. Car maintenance is not my day job. I'm not replacing water pumps on a daily basis. So there is nothing else to do but just give it a go. And if I don't complete it before midday, then everything gets delayed into next week.
The weather is coming in. Don't know how far I'm going to get before it starts raining. No. Rain stops, play. All right.
Any estimates are hampered by the weather. There are short, sharp showers blowing through that force me to quickly pack up and retreat until they've blown over. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. It all starts to add up when there is a pressing deadline.
I mean, it's temporary reprieve, but all that is coming this way. Still being rained on. It's not heavy rain, we will continue.
The YouTube instructions were incomplete. There was nothing about supporting the engine. But it starts to become obvious when I'm doing the engine mounts that it will need to be supported. A jack is quickly pushed beneath to keep the engine up.
That's probably what we should have done to begin with. That all looks back where it started out. Okay. Oh yeah, and those are finger tight. That's it. So you might as well get a new one of those. That's the pump. That's what's going to come out. And in doing so, I've got to take the thermostat off again, which means we're going to drain everything. Ugh. Another brief pause in the rain. See if we can get these out and then get down to the motor factors. Another one there. There's another one there. God, how many bolts? I guess it's got to hold a gasket in, hasn't it? Looking for any more bolts on the water pump. There, maybe.
Finally, the water pump is free, with enough time to spare. It's the weekend, so I can use the car that my partner uses to commute to work to get to the motor factors before they close. The next day, reassembly.
Looking pretty clean.
I'm checking that I've removed the residue from the old gasket. Reassembly should be the reverse of disassembly, except I forgot to take notes of which bolts were removed from where, so we have to play the game of working out where the long bolts and short bolts go. This requires dedicated concentration to remember exactly which bolt goes where.
Daddy,
Yes?
my sandals are broken.
Oh, what?
My sandals are broken.
Hang on.
Every interruption sends you back to the beginning and just increases the delay in getting things done. The task is made even harder by the fact that it's very hard to see what's going on.
So it's those two there, that one there, up there I've done. That one there was a longer bolt.
Puzzles are also harder when you're missing a piece. I've lost a bolt.
Ah. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5, no, 11. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
The lost bolt was found hiding in the scuttle of the front windscreen.
Big torque wrench, too big. So I had to do a detour for a new torque wrench of a smaller size that will go down to the 8 Newton meters that we need to secure the bolts. Okay. Adapters to make the 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch work with the. I think we might also need Dewey up. That's it. I think that'll need the extension socket. Done. Next. Thermostat housing. Get those chucked up out of the way, because that's just annoying. We went there, must have been there, and then now we've got to get it over there. And in order to do that, I had to do something there. What did I have to do there? Okay. then these three beasties.
Reassembly is the opposite of disassembly. The things that were hard to disassemble were easy to reassemble. The things that were easy to disassemble were hard to reassemble. The air filter box was easy to get out. Going back in, however, the drainage pipes didn't want to fit back in. I leant on the air intake pipe and broke its mount. Everything is easy when you know what you're doing. When you don't know what you're doing, learning on the job takes time. Thankfully, unlike the previous day, I don't have a deadline. I don't have to race to a shop before it shuts. I can take as long as I want. A glue joint has gone on the intake pipe. I use a stainless steel screw to secure it instead. The drainage pipes are eventually coaxed into their holes, and the air intake box clips back into place. None of this is captured on camera because I'm too busy trying to solve the problems. I'm also learning on the job for making YouTube videos. However, with everything now reassembled, the engine can be refilled with coolant. No leaks after refilling. Now to see what it looks like when it's running.
I don't see anything dripping, which is good. As close as I can get with the phone.
Holding at 90. Just need to wait for a fan cycle to kick through to know that that's working and behaving. Hopefully, got it right now. With the pump replaced and the water leak fixed, there is some routine maintenance that needs to be done. Namely, the car is due an oil change.
Come on. That's the sump plug from last time I did this. Well, there you go. I've got a brand new one anyway. Gloves.
I've done oil changes before, on this vehicle and others. That repetition means that my forecasts for how long it will take should be fairly good. About an hour, if there aren't any unexpected surprises and I don't spend too long drinking cups of tea.
Oh, that's good.
With the oil drained from the engine, the oil filter can be renewed.
Oh, that's lucky. That's 24. I was expecting it to be 25, which is the one that I'm missing. Okay. Let's go get CV joint. It's going to be mucky, isn't it? How do I get this out without being mucky absolutely everywhere? Okay. Good.
The engine is supposed to take 4 litres of 5W30 oil. I add it incrementally, allow a little time for it to settle through the engine, and then check with the dipstick to ensure that I'm not overfilling it.
Once I've managed to do that, with minimal spillage, that is the answer, isn't it? Transfer to a smaller can.
Despite it being drained, there will still be some residual oil within the engine.
Can't see anything at the moment. Pour it sideways. It doesn't glug when you pour it sideways. I'm registering something on the dipstick. Finally, still not quite enough. Another half litre then. Yeah, we're halfway. We're on the middle band. That's good. All right. Let it settle itself through. Whoops, where did you go? Don't want you in there. Another day, another challenge. And this one's been semi-recurring for a while, and I want to try and get to the bottom of it. Keep getting a P0171, which is mixture too lean. Now, the general consensus out on tinterwebs is that could be air leakage into the system caused by a damaged pipe. Could be a couple of other parts not behaving properly, bad seals around the rocker cover, which is letting air in or not creating the vacuum in the right manner. And finally, the expensive bit, it could be bad sensors on the exhaust or in the inlet to deal with oxygen levels. But one of the first things to check, and hopefully one of the simplest, is to get this, the purge valve, out and just check that that is behaving correctly, because it's got a diaphragm in there, piece of rubber that can perish, and if that goes, then you're not going to get the vacuum you're after, and so air levels in the rest of the system get messed up. Let's give it a go. As always, it simples, except when it's not. The electrical connector, that's easy. You just lift the tab, that pulls out. But that, how do I get that pipe out? Let's just see if I can get the camera underneath. There's a green. Something there, isn't there? I can't see how to. It's on the top. It's on the top, it's there. And then that pulls or pushes, and then that should unplug. All right. So this is the affected part. Just a little valve, electronically operated. When there is current to it, when it's energized, it opens, airflow through. When there's no current, disconnected, should be no airflow. But if I blow, yeah, I can blow through that. So the diaphragm on the inside, dead, deceased. Brand new one, fresh from Motor Factors. And Direction of travel that way. Very much. No airflow. So hopefully that will fix everything. Just need to go fit it. That's it, reinstalled. Took absolutely no time at all, even in this gale. Job done. Replacing the purge valve has fixed the P0171 error, and it's cleared up an intermittent problem with the traction control system. Everything is working.
It's only over when it's over. There shouldn't be coolant on the road.
It's all wet. It's dripping everywhere. Where is it coming from? Top hose wasn't on properly. That won't work. That's bad. All right. Wonder where I went wrong there then. The fix is to clip the top hose in properly. Easy enough. The long-term fix is to do things right. I was checking for coolant leaks elsewhere. I forgot to check the top hose. It's done when the problem is solved. The work may change. More work may need to be done than was initially thought. So we think it's all over when the engine warning light comes on again. P2270 O2 sensor signal stuck. I have to look that one up. Right, so P2270 is oxygen sensor, which I think is that thing down there. Possible culprits are that there is leaks around the exhaust area. Now, having had the car out and running with the windows down over the last few days, it certainly sounded like the exhaust might be blowing a bit. So I need to see if there is a problem with the exhaust. Don't exactly know where yet, but we'll have a hunt.
It's not the exhaust, but I have found something else worrying. That pink incrustation is coolant seeping through. I suspect the gasket was damaged when the engine overheated.
Need to get that out. Unclip all the hoses, drain out the fluid, and then just undo a couple of connectors and bolts. Shouldn't be too hard, hopefully.
The challenge here is that the car needs to remain usable. By the end of whatever work I'm doing, it needs to be in a drivable condition. Having done the water pump on the other side, I think I can get this coolant flange replaced in under an hour.
Release that.
The big problem of replacing the coolant flange is broken up into the little problems of removing individual hoses and connectors.
As always, the problem solving is just how to get things apart. The actual solution of replacing the part is the easy bit. I've got to get it up over that lip, and it doesn't want to go over that lip. Come on. Do it. Hey. It's a pretty, well, the red is the coolant, but it's just seeping past the gasket. That's the new one. I can tell that's the new one. What I do need to do is go off and clean out all the grot, don't I? There it goes. Right, now what do we got? That can clip back in there. which just leaves Mr. Who's here. Right. Warning light has gone. Now that could just be because the engine is cool and we'd had the battery off, which is why the tyre light is flashing at us. Let's run it down, run it round, get everything warmed up, see whether it comes back. It's due to thermal expansion of manifolds and engine block and whatever else.
15 minutes out, 15 minutes back. Temperature steady at 90 degrees. No engine warnings on the dashboard.
I'm done. The O2 sensor errors haven't returned after the test drive. I won't be needing the exhaust gasket after all. Chalk it up to technical debt. It'll go on the shelf. I'm sure it'll be needed in the future.
The car would have broken down anyway. It just so happened that it did it as I was out getting softwood timber for the timber framed lean-to. But now that the car maintenance is done, I need to get back to the woodworking and to the timber framed lean-to. I need to machine that softwood timber, but that's a job for another day.